I'm Edie Lush, Executive Editor of Hub Culture. Very pleased to be here in Davos 2023. The lights have set, the sun has set, the city's still alive here, and with me is Dr. Wulf Kaal. Thanks so much for coming by,
Thanks
CEO of Menagerie. When I say that we need collaboration in a fragmented world, the theme of the World Economic Forum this year, what does that mean to you?
So we've seen fragmentation, exactly as you say, political extremism, and the Great Resignation after the pandemic. To us at Menagerie, this is a key moment for Web3 community development. Mm-hmm. That's what we do. That's what I've been doing as an academic for 10 years, building theoretical math models, and then implementing communities in Web3 for the last 3 years. So for us, this is a key pivotal moment. We believe that society is changing fundamentally and that Web3-based communities will become integral part of the metaverse and the way people work to earn and how communities are created and how people relate to each other and with each other and work with each other. And that's what we do.
Really interesting. So just to de-jargonize a little bit, Web3, as in Web2, was things like Facebook. Web3 is going to be things like blockchain, crypto, when it really gets going, the metaverse, an area where the digital world, three-dimensional. And I wonder how you see those different areas making the world a more inclusive place. Because I think that the what happened with Web2 is that the promise was fantastic. And some people got pretty rich. Some of them are just down the road from here. We did bring a lot of people online. There's still 50% of the world that isn't online. I think the promise of Web2 hasn't always been as great. The promise is greater than the reality. So how's Web3 going to be any different?
So who are the big winners of Web2? We would argue that those are the platform companies, Google, Facebook, Twitter, among others. And they come to the market and have created in the market structures that benefit themselves. For instance, we've been trained by these companies to give our time away for free, for convenience, because we're using them and they get our data and they get to do with the data what they want to do, photos, etc. So in Web3, this is so if you want a step back to the crypto / internet punk areas where the movement really came from. Web3 is sort of decentralizing this idea and taking these platform businesses on, if you want, and is giving, and I'm sorry to use jargon, but giving power back to the people, right? So people can use and control their own data, can choose where they work, how they work, with whom they work, and are becoming more independent across the board. So you may know what digital nomads are, and the younger generations are literally traveling the world.
My son is determined to be one. He was one on his gap
and it's
year.
a fun life,
right?
I mean, you don't have to work on 9-to-5 jobs. I think the younger generations, they will not do what we were trained to do. And so tapping into that are Web3 community-based solutions that we are creating at Menagerie, including with other companies such as Vadim, who's building a very significant presence in the metaverse. We believe the metaverse is something to also take very seriously. But the metaverse is about community building, right? So we spent 7 years just building technology in Web3 and metaverse solutions. But at the core, all of this is community building. And so with new communities come new earning opportunities. And it's just a lifestyle change that we believe is coming, and Menagerie is offering associated services.
Interesting. So let's talk about one specific one. I haven't done an interview yet on DAOs. Tell me so it's a digital autonomous organization. Have I got that right? Not quite.
Decentralized.
Decentralized and also digital.
It is digital and decentralized,
yes. Decentralized autonomous organization. I remember the fascinating story about the DAO to buy an early copy of the U.S. Constitution. Was that right?
Constitution, it didn't quite happen. Corporate interests
came first, but it was a fascinating example of how decentralized, democratic folks working together, actually many of whom hadn't ever met each other before, could come pretty close to doing something pretty significant. Now, I'm sure that means that the promise of what they can do is even more. So tell me a little bit where you see it.
Okay, so DAOs are all about decentralized governance, which is where Menagerie is coming from. decentralized governance is the foundation for Web3. So you might say that DAOs as emerging entities with decentralized governance, and there are not many right now, are the foundation for a Web3 evolution. Now, what you are talking about is the incremental experimentation of DAO governance that we're experiencing, we've been experiencing for about 3-4 years at this point. And those are all very, very important. The news the fact that you know about this is extremely gratifying to me personally.
Good. Even though I couldn't say what it actually was.
Yeah, no. See, I've done this for 10 years. So for us to be able to have these conversations now is absolutely brilliant.
Good.
So yeah, DAOs are an experimentation right now that is absolutely essential. The long-term prospect that we see in DAOs is replacing 501c3s, nonprofit, but also C Corps, B Corps. We see this as a very broad spectrum. There are, however, of course, parallel tracks. So there's some crypto people who talk about them replacing existing centralized structures. The existing centralized structures that we have, they're efficient and they have a purpose. But we are seeing that the decentralized elements that we are implementing with DAOs have a parallel track. They create other opportunities, other venues, other opportunities for people to earn a living together. And just to sort of tie this into existing logic of that maybe still percolating in some people's minds, is sort of this notion of capitalism versus socialism, right? Yeah. We've been through this, 100, 200 years yet now. DAOs are transcending that. It is, if you want, a hybrid between socialistic societal forms and capitalistic societal forms. So we have the extreme libertarian approach with corporations, and the purpose of corporations is to make shareholders rich, quote unquote, or to earn a living for shareholders. And with DAOs, there is a more community-based approach. You still earn, but you earn with the community for the community. So you earn for yourself while also earning with the community. Whereas in corporations, we have corporate interests, centralized structure, where certain people, the unicorn idea, right? Certain people make it to the top, Facebook, everybody's looking for the next Facebook. This is a different approach. This is about horizontal scaling. This is not vertical scale. So vertical scaling is Facebook. Horizontal scaling is Menagerie, one community building another community. People identify their needs in one community, hire another community that can be set up efficiently, and one community pays the other community. This could be artists, this could be code reviewers, this could be all kinds of different fields. But it's horizontal scaling, it's not vertical scaling, right? So it's a new approach in the way we can run business and society.
Interesting. Where do you think we're going to be in 10 years' time?
As I said, I believe there will be parallel tracks. I think the metaverse will play a big role. It's not quite ready yet. And we will see communities of people earning a living together with each other and being able to break out of centralized structures. And it really comes down to individual choice. Okay. Do you want to work for the next unicorn and be a startup, or work for the corporate interest? Absolutely. 9 to 5, maybe 9 to midnight, who knows? You can choose. But if you don't want that and you want to work with people you like and with whom you share your interests or similar interests, there will be in 10 years, there will be structures that allow you to earn a living in those new structures. And it's a parallel track. It's a lifestyle choice, really.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for stopping by the Hub Culture studio here in Davos, and I'm Edie Lush.
Thanks for having me.